Alright, gang, what is going on? Today we're going to be drawing, potentially the worst dog to ever exist or at least the scariest dog to ever exist. You might know him as the Guardian of the Underworld, or Cerberus. Dun dun dun. Yeah, dude. He's the real deal. It's basically if hell had its own security system. He's not necessarily evil, and I shouldn't have said hell. The underworld. If the underworld had its own security system. And he's not evil. He's just doing his job, brother. You know what I mean? He's a loyal servant to his master. There's not going to be a whole bunch going on in the video portion of this video. You'll just see a time lapse of me drawing this fool. Primarily, these videos are to listen to, but, feel free to watch. Let me know what you think. Let me know who you want me to draw in the future. And what poster do you want me to do next? But anywho, I'll stop my blabbing. Who is this Cerberus fella anyways? That's my question. He belongs to Hades, the god of the underworld. And his whole job is to let people in and to not let anybody out, unfortunately. That's basically it. He's really just an employee who's way too loyal to their employer. And I don't even think fool's getting paid. But yeah, everybody knows him as a three-headed dog. But ancient descriptions of this fool kind of vary. Some people say he has a snake tail, snakes coming out of his back, and probably smells like absolute feces. Probably just smells ridiculous. And that is actually an attribute contributed to this guy. He's got a gnarly stench. His parents, terrible monsters. And I don't mean that allegorically, I mean it literally. He's the child of Typhon and Echidna. And I don't know if I'm pronouncing those correctly. I probably am not. It's like, imagine being born and your parents are two of the final bosses. You know what I mean? Unbelievable confidence, I'd assume. But what kind of a life is that, dude? And you're not alone. You look to your left and there's the Hydra, your brother. And then you look to your right and the Chimera, your other brother or sister, whatever these things are. So basically, the Cerberus he's got issues, man. Which makes you realize Greek mythology wasn't peaceful at all. And while I was drawing these heads, I did want to make them look different, but I didn't want to make them look too different. So I did kind of keep them looking similar. I know, boring and lame. I'm a real dirtbag, I apologize. But anywho, the three-head thing, though, does it mean anything? Did he really have three heads? Who knows? But some people think that it actually does mean past, present, and future. And each of those heads represent that, which is kind of insane because that means the dog isn't really just guarding the underworld, but he's also, guarding the idea of time itself. This dude is kind of stacked, you know what I mean? Why is he so overpowered? Others believe it represents birth, life, and death, right? So, which isn't really better. If anything, it's worse. Now you're just, getting judged by a dog in each and every level of existence. Birth, life, and death. Come on now. Also, this is something nobody talks about. Some old stories of the Cerberus say he had like 50 to even 100 heads, not just a measly 3. But they simplified it because it's easier to deal with, which is, something. And debatable. Like, if you would have given him one head and just made him large, I think I would have understood the message. 3's a little overkill if you're asking me. But what do I know? You know what I mean? I don't know poop from fart. But yeah, the Cerberus, he's not necessarily an evil entity or anything like that just because he's guarding the underworld. He's not there hunting people or hurting anybody. He's just doing his job. He's making sure death stays final. And that's pretty much it. Like, imagine being so good at your job that you become a symbol of death itself. He's basically the Grim Reaper, which is undeniably gangster, if you're asking me. He's the physical embodiment of there's no going back, or abandon all hope ye who enter. And believe it or not, there were a few people who 1v1 this fool. Humans decided to test this guy's limits and see what the old Cerberus was all about. First, we got, what is it? Skadzart? What the? Oh, Hercules. It says Hercules, sorry about that. This man was told, yeah, go grab Cerberus real quick. No weapons, just vibes. and he did it no problem. It was part of his 12 labors, and it was his last and final labor. Bring Cerberus up to the surface world. No weapons, just your hands. And he did it, no problem. Which is cool or whatever, but like I don't remember any myths and legends getting written about me when I did the same exact thing. But anyway, let's keep on going. There's also a fella named Orpheus, and instead of fighting Cerberus the way Hercules and I did, he plays music. And Cerberus just falls asleep. So, whether or not he's a good guardian of the underworld is still up for debate, but now we know this terrifying underworld beast can be defeated by a well-executed Spotify playlist. Don't worry, gang, we're not done yet. Some extra stuff about the Cerberus. Some myths say that his saliva is poisonous, which is, sadistic. Just because dogs lick. That's what they do. They love to do it. You can't really even escape it. But if you do find yourself face to face with the Cerberus, be weary of that. And apparently, if he does lick you, you should keep an eye out for wolfsbane. Because allegedly, wolfsbane were believed to grow from his saliva. So poisonous plants. Some people think the Cerberus is just an analogy for letting go, which would make sense because he's literally standing at the end of existence. He's at the gates of the underworld, so he's just the physical representation of that, letting go of the material realm. So yeah, gang, this is the Cerberus. He's not just a monster, but like a boundary. 3 heads, watches everything, making sure that once you cross that line, you stay there. And honestly, if something like that didn't exist, maybe nothing would feel real in the first place. Anywho, thank you guys for hanging out. I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know what you think about this drawing. Let me know what cryptid/mythical creature you would like me to draw in future videos, and I will. And stay tuned to the next one. Stay tuned for the next one. Peace.